So in this video, we're going to be talking about the severe weather outbreak that is expected to occur today and also into January 1st, which is New Year's Day. So severe weather might close out 2021. I don't want to say 2021 is going to end the way it began because while the January 1st outbreak was somewhat significant, it really was not that notable in any way. And the Fulton Hill tornado was also pretty notable, but that was on January 25th. I will say that there was a pretty bad winter storm in the beginning of the year, but that's kind of like every year. Now, as you can see from this, you have a categorical severe weather outlook, but that's really like less than 2%. It includes California and kind of as an outside surrounder to the area that we're really going to want to focus on. So, this is categorical. As you can see, it includes several cities in California like San Francisco, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, and San Diego, and is kind of a greater also ring around their area. So tornado, wind, and hail do have slightly different boundaries, but we're going to look at tornadoes specifically first. As you can see, a 2% risk of tornadoes is in effect for Shreveport, and Charlotte. 5% is in effect for Jackson, Greenville, Little Rock's in 2%. Jackson, Greenville, Birmingham, Atlanta, Chattanooga, and Nashville. And also Memphis, which is just outside the 10% range. As you can see, there's actually two Jacksons in it. There is currently no big city in the 10% range. And there's also not a hatched area, so they're not saying EF2 plus tornadoes should be that much of a threat. Not saying they aren't going to occur, but I'm saying that they shouldn't be that much of a threat. The wind and hail areas are slightly different in the sense that Raleigh is in a 5% hail zone. So by the way, it just goes 5 and 15 on this one. Raleigh's included in that, and Columbus is kind of on the edge of the 2% tornado zone, but they are in a hail zone. No, this is not hail. This is wind. Hail is actually more narrowly defined. In that sense. And that is for today. This outlook was issued at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, so 1 o'clock p.m. in UTC time. So we should have another outlook coming out actually in about an hour and a half. The 30th should be calmer. They only have a 2% tornado risk and 5% for wind and hail. That seems to be on the similar areas. As you can see, this time it's going to we don't have the exact city thing. That's annoying. But as you can see, it can include cities like New Orleans, Mobile, Tallahassee, Atlanta, Charleston, Charlotte, Raleigh, cities like that. But it shouldn't be as prolific. And again, this is 2%. So while I do think tornado is going to touch down, I don't think it's going to be a prolific event. If you're wondering what that means, that's a chance of a tornado touching down within 25 miles of your location. So when you see a 2%, that means that you have to kind of look at the size of it too and see, do you think a tornado is going to touch down? Once you get to 5%, you can pretty easily say that a tornado is probably going to wind up touching down. But it kind of determines like if there's going to be a big outbreak or not. Now on the 31st, we don't know specifically what types of severe weather, but they are predicting any severe weather is a 15% chance for some areas. So that would probably correlate to 10% for tornadoes. That in a range consists of cities like Memphis and Little Rock and The 5% range is much bigger. I don't know if it includes Dallas or not, or Oklahoma City, but I do know that it would include I think it would include Atlanta, it would include Huntsville, it would include Louisville, Bowling Green, if Bowling Green isn't in the larger one. And by the way, unfortunately, I do think that Mayfield is within the 15% zone. And we saw that Mayfield was flattened by an EF4 tornado about 2.5 weeks ago. And then this would actually be the 3-week anniversary. Now, January 1st, we can only see the 15% or larger range because it is 4 days out. So we will be tracking this throughout the next couple of days. But as you can see, I hope that my light sensor will fix. It's a pretty big area. It includes Atlanta, Huntsville, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Jackson, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, and I think even Bowling Green as well is included. It's a pretty big area. And we don't know what it's going to be specifically for tornadoes, but the fact they're predicting this much for an outbreak that's in 4 days is quite alarming. So what can I compare this to? Well, I want to see, one thing I want to compare it to is the 2010 New Year's Eve tornado outbreak. This is a notable tornado outbreak that went from December 30th into January 1st. It caused 9 deaths and $123 million in economic damages. Some notable tornado touchdowns include an EF3 in Cincinnati, Arkansas, and an EF3 in Fenton, Missouri. In total, though, all of the fatalities occurred on New Year's Eve. Even though there were some EF3s on New Year's Day, they were ultimately a lot more sparing. This tornado specifically right here is actually the earliest tornado in a calendar year because when you convert UTC to Central Standard Time, it touched down at 12:02 in the morning on January 1st of 2011. 2011, as we know, would be a very active and catastrophic year, and they got the tornadoes immediately, as seen by the fact that the ball dropped, and then 2 minutes later, Attala County, Mississippi, sees a tornado. And not just a weak tornado, because an EF3 tornado was quite strong. Nonetheless, most of the tornadoes did touch down on the 31st. There were 37 tornadoes in total, and only up to an EF3, but kind of, doesn't become as relevant when you get to this point. So, do I think it's going to be as bad as that? Well, first of all, the location, it wouldn't be centered over Missouri and Illinois. Mississippi is a good place, but it'll probably be centered more so over Tennessee. Do I think it's reasonable to compare it to that outbreak? Personally, I'm going to say I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as it. I think that while it might spawn as many, if not even more, tornadoes, and would add to December, which is already the most active month for tornadoes on record, the most active December for tornadoes on record, I should say. I don't think that it's with the lack of predictability of strong tornadoes, I could be wrong, and these things have outperformed over before, but they also have busted. It's currently 11:08 in the morning, and we still have not had a single confirmed tornado, and I don't even think we've had any tornado warnings issued. Of course, this could persist later on throughout the day, but just the fact that we haven't really seen any activity, there have been plenty of 2% times that I've monitored where you have either no tornado touchdown or you have like a single weak tornado that touched down. Even though they're predicting it to be a lot worse, it doesn't always mean that. Now, do I think that's even the case in this case? I don't. I think that we will have an outbreak. I'm not sure if it's going to be connected between 4 days, but as for what really goes on, that I'm a little bit less sure of. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. We will be continuing to track this outbreak as it continues. Please subscribe to the channel, and please continue so that you can get more updates when these remaining tornadoes come out. And I hope that you enjoyed.